Do you know who is not ever rude to his interviewers, who is a man of a similar age? Is the internet daddy, Pedro Pascal. See what I did there? Because this is the thing I wanted to talk about, right? I am perturbed by Pedro Pascal. Now, if you don't know who he is, I'll tell you. If you don't know who he is, it's because you haven't been following my recommendations, and I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. Please do better. He is one of the two main stars of The Last of Us, which is the only show anyone's talking about at the moment. He is also the Mandalorian, whatever that is. That's a Star Wars scenario. And he was in Narcos and he was in Game of Thrones. But basically, he is a very, very hot middle-aged man. And he is very handsome and he's very charming and he's having a moment because he's on the two biggest shows on TV, right? The Last of Us and The Mandalorian. The thing I'm perturbed about is that he is apparently, and I did not know this till this week, the internet's daddy. So I was watching the Oscars coverage and I was as excited as anyone to see Pedro arrive. He always gives loads to the interviewer. He flirts, he goes along with it, he plays the jokes, he does all that stuff. But every single clip of him just said, "Daddy's here. Daddy's here, daddy, 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 daddy." And
he doesn't refer to himself as daddy, does he?
Well, he has been asked. Yeah, he has been asked several times about his status as internet daddy, and here's what he's said.
Yeah, we said together. Sparkly blazers.
Let's be sparkly together.
How you doing, Daddy?
I'm all right, Mama.
You know you're the daddy of the internet, right?
I call Pedro Pascal a DILF and think he's my cool, slutty father. Yep, I am your cool, slutty daddy.
So I was perturbed because in my house, daddy has only just stopped being used in the literal term for it. As in, daddy, I can't sleep. Daddy, can I have a glass of water?
Whereas in the bedroom, it is alive and well. Am I right?
Stop it.
Wow.
And so I was like, why is this so icky to me? And I did a bit of Googling. And I know that daddy kind of it's always had a slightly icky sexual connotation in the straight world, but it comes from the gay world where people would be like a leather daddy, then they drop the leather. But it basically means an attractive man of an older age. And former internet daddies have included John Hamm, Idris Elba, Anderson Cooper, Gerard Butler.
Oh.
Is it icky or is it just me? Jesse, you're young. What do you think about internet daddy?
Who's your daddy, Jesse?
I like this. I spoke to a bunch of people at work to get it, a bunch of the young people, internet people, more online than me, and they were so enlightening. They said it's about the fact he has a really soft, non-threatening energy as well, because Pedro Pascal doesn't actually have kids of his own, but he has this almost paternal energy, good guy energy that people lean into, and it makes them feel safe, especially because of The Last of Us, zombie father saving the world. Like that thing really appeals to a lot of women. You're right that it's been borrowed from queer culture, like from I read that in a homonormative sense, a daddy is a gay man who applies a state of mind that encompasses care and consideration, mentorship and leadership. So it's also the gay community has really got behind this idea.
So is it a sex thing or is it not a sex thing?
It's like everything. It's a bit sex thing and it's a bit not sex thing. Everything's a bit of a sex thing.
Well, I don't know how Pete Stevens would feel about that.
Well, he's never been called a daddy and he never will.
I have a question. I feel like, Jesse, this is something for young people because, for example, Holly and I wouldn't say it in the bedroom because our partners are daddies.
Yeah.
Yes, it says something about the age of the people who think they own the internet.
Yeah, right.
And that's that Pedro could be their father because even me, I think he's about 47. He couldn't be my dad, right? So it's like I wouldn't call him daddy. But if I was 18, maybe.
So might you call Harrison Ford daddy?
Yeah, maybe. And I remember, this is really weird.
Or
but
grandpa,
did you guys
maybe.
ever watch the movie Signs?
No.
The alien movie Signs?
Yeah, I
Brilliant.
think I've seen that, yes.
I remember walking away from that film. It starred Mel Gibson, and this was before he did the naughty things, so I put the naughty things to the side. But he was saving his family from aliens, and he was sitting there at the dinner table just caring for his family, and I felt something stir in my gut. It wasn't sexual. It was just like, thank you for looking after me. And I think I felt a daddy relationship to Mel Gibson in that moment. I think that's what people are feeling for Pedro. And because he plays with interviewers He's also, you know, a LGBTQI ally. I think that all means that he's got a lot of communities behind him and he's the good guy of the internet right now.
Is granddaddy a thing?
Oh, great question. It's not as sexy, is it?
Well, so is this the same? I heard that. Is this the same as the commentary I saw around Nicole Kidman? There was some speculation that maybe she'd had a few champagnes before she came onto the red carpet. She was pretty loose, having a good time. And people were calling her mother. Is that the same?
Isn't it funny that the word mother seems to have a real sexless connotation, whereas the word mummy has a real sex.
Yeah, it's true, right?
Real sex connotation. So I think that's almost like a sacred Virgin Mary, maternal bow down, like almost like a Beyonce, you're untouchable mother status. It's like
but also
the matriarch
older.
of Hollywood.
Older?
But also older. Yes, yes.
Right.